independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you this evening? It's Wednesday at 7. So I have some heavy metal to share with you tonight. No, you don't need to plug your ears. It's actually, I'm going to be showing you the difference between the brushed metallic cardstock tonight. But I figured I'd get your attention with saying we're doing heavy metal. So now, you know, Joel's not on, my hubby, but Mr. Musician would probably tend to disagree with me on my choice of words for heavy metal tonight. But nonetheless, guess who's in charge? So we're doing heavy metal tonight, and we're going to be using the brushed metallics. So let's see, what else is there? Are you ready? I hope so, because next week I will be announcing a new promotion for some of our selected designer series paper that's going to be 15% off. I believe it's over the month of October, it might be sooner. Those are all the details I have, but I wanted to let you know. I don't know which papers yet, no, of course not, but I wanted to let you know that. So if designer paper is on your list, you might want to give me a week just to see, because that 15%, well, that's shipping and like half a tax. So, you know, it could get better, right? So without anything else, I'm going to put you down and we're going to get to creating. If you've joined me, please say what you had for dinner, where you're from, that kind of thing. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, today is National Guacamole Day. So please let me know in the comments if you have participated in this great holiday. So I will be later. So I think I'm making tacos tonight to go with the guacamole day. I saw that this morning and just, if you don't know, I'm a huge Mexican food fan. So I just was like, guacamole today sounds so good. So yeah, here we go. So I'm going to put you down. We're going to get to creating with some heavy metal, and thanks so much for joining me. All right, let's get this thing straight, running and going. So I'm getting the computer set up. Hi there. Did you see my post about my photo box? I got a new light box, so now I can take pictures any time of the day instead of like between 10 and 1. So kind of a cool concept, right? To be able to work all the time. Made life a little interesting. Thankfully we don't have cloudy days, but at least not normally, we'll just say. But it made life a little bit interesting, you know, and that's okay. All right, so let's get centered all the way here. Breakfast for dinner. Yep, it is Wednesday night, isn't it, Lise? Not dinner yet. Me either, Cheryl. We're hanging out. Hi, Pen. How are you? Good to see you. I don't know who else is on with me. I have it says 4. So, and I have to say thank you if you have shared this. So, let's see here. Let's see what we're getting into tonight. So, my sample card was made with all 3 of the brushed metallic papers. Yay, right? Man, that is crooked. Hold on. We gotta get things moving here. I'm like, oh. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's really crooked. We'll see if I can get it straightened out. And if not, 3rd time's a charm, and we'll just keep going. Alrighty, so I have no idea if that's better or not, but we're gonna move on. So, all 3 of the brushed metallics and then embossed. This is with the Good World or Old World 3D embossing folder. So this is not what we're doing tonight. We're going to be doing a similar technique. So if you're doing the Create With Me portion, I do have to tell you, So here's what it is. You don't necessarily need the brushed metallics, but you need some kind of shiny paper, okay? And you need it to be spliced together, and I'll explain when we do. And then I need the whole thing embossed, okay? So the idea is to have 3 separate colors, per se, mushed together and presented as one thing, okay? So that's what we have so far. And then the stamp set is Celebration Tidings photopolymer stamp set. Great all occasion stamp set. However, there's not a punch or die to match, so you gotta kind of make it up and figure it out, which not a problem. So shall we begin? I hope so. So let's see. I already have my chosen stamps on blocks. I've actually chosen Happy Haunting and the spider web out of here. So the spider web and the Happy Haunting. If you're not into Halloween, follow the other one, not a problem. But I do have quite a few that are into Halloween, including myself mildly. Not the really spooky, scary stuff, but mildly. So we're going to be using the 3D Cobwebs embossing folder tonight. And let's get going on all the measurements, shall we? So in front of me, I have my Stampin' Seal. I have my glue dots. I have, which punch is this? Storybook, I believe it's called. Storybook punch. So, and if somebody can correct me, that would be great. But Blackberry Bliss, our infamous Blackberry Bliss, great deep, deep, deep purple. But you have to be aware. Let's see here. Why are my comments not loading? There we go. So, Blackberry Bliss, you need to stamp off as much as you possibly can on your scrap mat and then clean it, because it is such a deep color that after you clean a couple stamps full force, you have to get up and clean your scrub mat. So just an FYI for you, you want to stamp off as much as you possibly can so you don't have to get up. Because if you get up, you'll see that the laundry needs to be done or dinner needs to be cooked, and then your create time might be gone. So make sure you do what you need to do. All right, so in front of me I have what's left of my in color enamel dots. I have a scrap of Very Vanilla. I know you're looking at me going, these don't match. Guess what? This is what everything's glued to, so it's not gonna matter, okay? So this is cut at, and this week we can measure. Awesome, right? So this is cut at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. These guys are cut at, is just under 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay? And basically what I did was I wanted it to be 5 by 3 3/4. Okay? So I cut them at 3 3/4, and then I divided the 5 by 3, which was like 1.66 or something like that. And so hence the just under 1 3/4. Okay? So that's how I got to that. And then I've got Blackberry Bliss, our infamous deep, 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 deep color, 5 1/4 by 4. And then last but not least, our card base that's going to hold all this crazy stuff together is cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Okay? So there we go. Did I do that right? Yes. Some days I say it backwards, but not tonight. We're good. And then let's see here. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I am punching out of the middle of this the hole's gonna be covered, but if I don't do this, guess what happens? I glue, and then I forget to punch out, and then I don't have a little stretched out thing like right here. I don't have a little stretched out thing, and then I wish it was there because it looks too plain. So I'm punching it out first because that's how things are some days. All right, so I'm putting that aside with the vanilla. I'm putting all this to the side. All right, so I have a question for you guys. Hey, Carol, how are you? So I have a question. Paper Pumpkin this month is 8 cards for technically October's Paper Pumpkin. 8 cards, and we're encouraging people to stay connected and have pen pals. So my question to you would be, if you're interested in the kit, please comment to let me know however you want to. Even if you don't have the kit, please let me know. And I would like to know if you are interested in me organizing a little pen pal swap kind of thing. It will cost you the kit, which is just under $22, shipped out the door, ready to go. So there you go with that. And then I have another question for you. Your mini catalog, what's your favorite thing out of it? I know mine's changed a couple times. So, all right. So while you're commenting on that, I'm doing good, hun. I got a weekend off, like, not last weekend, but the weekend before. So, very cool. Got to do some racetrack driving. So, yay! I love going fast. Grab some water. All right. So these 3 are the brushed metallics. Okay. And the only thing you need to pay attention to when you're working with these, and I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to bring it up really close and hopefully we'll get it. But I don't know if you can tell, but there are some brush strokes or lines in this. So pay attention to which direction you're cutting, so that way you don't end up doing something you don't want to. Okay? You don't want the lines going sideways and cut up and down, right? So for right now, I'm gonna get this thing started. Okay, this is our Stampin' Seal. If you're not familiar with it, some of you are, some of you like it, some of you don't, and that is okay. So I'm eyeballing and going to the center, and notice I'm a little crooked too, but that is okay. If things stick out, we just trim off a little bit, right? So I'm gonna butt this one up to the next one, and I wanna make sure top to bottom is lined up so it looks straight at least, even if I did it crooked. Go figure, right? I'm doing a lot of glue on this because it's going through the embossing Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so you want to touch this as little as you can as I'm like stroking it, because I had a big old fingerprint and that's why I'm telling you that. Okay, if you get adhesive on the front side of this foil, you probably will not get it off. So Cheryl's interested. Cool. Let me scroll up a little bit. Let's see. So I will be putting out an email with more details on that, but I just thought I'd tell ya, you know? So, alrighty. So for this, let me move some things. Constantly moving things. It's like, you know, I use like, what, 8 feet of table or something? Actually, I do. So we always tease that the studio is big enough for like 8 people or me, and sometimes I run out of. So, hi Iris, how are you? Ah, your bow punch. Yes, definitely. And thanks for doing the pen pal. I believe you're already signed up for Paper Pumpkin. You like any pre-made sets that make your life easy. Oh, honey, then you need to look at the new tag set, because even if you don't do tags, they like all you'd have to do is do a matted card base. And what I mean by that is grab your card base, grab one mat, done, glue it on, and then all the tags that the kids can do make great card fronts. So even if you don't do tags, because I don't know about you, I don't like spending money on tags and then they just get pulled off of the presents anyways, but just FYI. So something to think about. There's a really cool tag set. Alrighty, so I'm using the cobwebs. Couple things to note. On this, it's a 3D embossing folder. So with the new Stampin' Cut emboss machine, I'm using the platform and the number 4. Love the numbers, by the way. The number 4 specialty plate. If you have the old Big Shot, then it's the blue plate. If you have that, you don't have that, it's about 5 pieces of cardstock wrapped with some packaging tape, and that works too. So I've got the cobweb embossing folder, 3D, okay? How you know it's face up. So on the back side of this has the little copyright thing. On the front side is the logo with the line so you know it's straight, right? Hey, I'm pretty straight, cool. So if you want your image to pop up, you want your logo up front. If you have bought a folder that does not have a logo, here's an easier way to tell. Feel and feel. The side that is more sunk in is the side that's going to pop up your paper because it's squeezing through, and that's going to allow the paper to go into the crevices, which means the paper will pop up when this is sunk down. So think opposite. But the easiest way is where the Stampin' Up is where you put it for up. Okay. Fireside trimmings. All right then. We got all different ones. Mine has changed. Mine was the acorn one because of fall, but I'm starting to transition into Christmas. I don't know yet. That's the problem. And I will have to say, I've already gone through a full pack, I think, of the plaid paper. Married to a Piper, you know, that whole thing. So we're not going there, right? Okay. So let me fold this guy up. Sorry for the loud. And put that down. It's great that I don't have those leaves, for lack of a better term, coming out to grab me when I get up from doing this. So you always want to put it in hinge side first, so that way it doesn't peel out and become a mess on you. So you want the least amount of torque on that hinge. So yes, I have too, honey. So here's my cobwebs. I know not everybody's into Halloween, but it's still gorgeous regardless. So I'm gonna glue this guy together, grab my Stampin' Seal. Love that it comes together this quick. So Blackberry Bliss, matted at 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and so you can see the card base behind it, right? The purple. So all this is allowing you to do, it doesn't matter what color it is. It does need to be regular cardstock or designer series paper, but nothing with metallic in it because it won't stick to it. But you are simply using that as a base to have everything butt up and line up, okay? So because there is some texture to this, as you would probably expect with the embossing folder, right? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do extra, because I don't want my corners peeling up at all, right? So I am grabbing my snips and I'm grabbing my glue dots. You can use take your pick tool. You can use your finger. You can stick the paper right on there. It really is up to you. But I want to get those corners so they don't curl up on me with that extra texture. That's the reasoning. Okay, so we're putting that aside. We're gonna stick this down. I'm not sure if there's a up or a down, but hey, we're just gonna go with it. Okay, and you want the least amount of fingerprints, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip this over and you're gonna rub to make sure that glue goes in. Okay, so there is your embellished, or embossed rather, cobwebs. Yay, right? All right, so now I'm grabbing my punch and mat. Yes, we're only gonna get a partial out of this, and it is okay. If I can get that to pop, that is, the Blackberry Bliss. So I'm gonna do my Happy Haunting first. And yes, I know I have all this, but I'm staying up on this side simply because I want to be able to punch and not have to cut off any of the paper. So there's my Happy Haunting. Not too worried about getting all of this spider web, because guess what? Not all of it is gonna punch out. So I'm just grabbing here, trying to center. Well, if I went over the P, in theory, that should be what it is, right? So there's my Happy Haunting. This is right up with cat, huh? Holly. So I've got my punch. I've got it upside down so I can see what I'm punching. And see, I missed quite a bit of that, but that is okay. If you want a bigger label, you're more than welcome to. But for me, I just wanted a bit of it. And you know what? I should close this before I get into it. I really should. Okay, so for this guy, I'm just cutting this in half so I can stretch it. And then I'm grabbing my Stampin' Seal. I'm doing one stripe on the inner edge, is what I'm going to call that. Okay. And I am placing just to get that matte kind of look, right? Placing and placing. And you're like, hey, but John, look, there's stuff sticking out. Yes, there is. That's what scissors are for. Okay, so if you don't like that look of stuff sticking out like I don't, we're just gonna go across here and nip those ends and fix that. You see what I'm doing here? So I'm going from this notch, about half of it, and I'm cutting down and just going along the edge. Other stamps like the Everyday Label, we don't have this problem because there's not that curlicue side, but I wanted a little bit more of a filigree to go with the shape of what I was stamping. So, all right, so now I've got my dimensionals and you're like, John, you're nuts. Yes, I am, but I have no more dimensionals left, right? No. Use all of it. Use all the borders and every last little tiny piece of it, right? So we're gonna grab here, we're gonna run this across, we're gonna peel this up, and we're gonna grab, and this is gonna go right in the center. Now if I was doing this again, I'd probably stamp the spider web on the bottom also, but it's already glued, so hey, guess what? It's what I have, right? So, same concept, two different embossing folders. Look at how different that looks. Kind of cool, right? And let's see here. Do I still want the brown? Do I want the yellow? I don't know what I want. That is the problem. That is the question of the day. So we're going to go into the box. And I think we need to do the iridescent pearls instead of the in colors. Love being able to change my mind. How about you? So we're just going to put these here. Tie them all together. Okay. And we have 2 cards all set and ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed. So if you're doing the Create With Me project, it's 3 different foils, or even, let's make it easier, 3 different pieces of solid cardstock, hopefully foils. Okay? All done with 1 embossing folder. So you need a miniature base underneath to connect it all and be able to glue it down, and then an embossing folder to tie it all together in one shot, and then the rest of it, make it up. No problem. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. Follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com, for the Create With Me portion, and if you want to see the replay, this will be pinned to the top of the page momentarily. So thanks again, have a great evening, and go create. Thank you.